This episode of Speakers of Eidolon is made possible by our generous patrons. Special thanks to our supreme and master speakers, Omejicat Comet, Erisu Yamakawa, Circa Barakeel, Remy Asalia, Arcadia Lunashine, Alex Franco AV, Casey Schaefer, Azuta Starbreeze, Cletus Oreo, Nina Grimsdaughter, Nat Clay, Lily Black, Bob CC, Mikta Rabentau, Faris Jantoru, Sapa Chakwatol, Edwin, Umbral Wind, Quick Levin, Winebow Brood, Pamela Isley, Camille Grinnell, Elenriel Maximus, Codrid No, Mira Miri, Bay Barbalay, Suna Chicano, Celesto Notrell, Lazy Boy, Abaga Dragon Knight, Luke Osborne, Pandaloo Storm Arrow, Tex, Yowie Wowie, Kai Lin, and Chibi Duo. Support the show and become a patron today at patreon.com/speakersxiv. Thank you.
This is Speakers of Eidolon.
Good evening, Aorcians. Welcome to Speakers of Eidolon, episode 259. I'm Lakeel Bravestone, and I'm joined today by Georgi Wiston, Mail Vanadar, and Rollo Dez. Should we just address it now while we can? Georgi has cut himself while shaving. There's some blood on his lip. I'm sorry. It just didn't dry in time. All right. This is episode 259. And we will try to continue our Shadowbringers review. We'll see how much time we have, because we have a big Banri Oda Q&A as well that we need to get through today. By 4Gamer, I think. Yeah, 4Gamer. We will definitely not have time to read Mogmail, but do send us Mogmail for whenever we have time again, which will be maybe next week. If we don't have time next week, we'll just move it to the top like we've done before. Stay tuned for the post show. We'll be answering questions from the Syndicate, and of course, we'll be watching the minimum eye level run from last week. Gimlet Dark is here. Gimlet Dark is here. So there you go. That's also under channel updates for you people watching on demand on YouTube. Minimum eye level Gimlet Dark should be out the day after this is posted. So I would assume if it's out on a Tuesday, it will be out on Wednesday. So make sure you watch that. Now let's jump into recent events. Yes, recent events. We have some kind of breaking news at the time of recording. The Chaos data center is being attacked. It's being DDoS attacked right now. There is. It might be over now. Actually, no. It's it may or may not be ongoing right now. But it was very. It was very bad when I last checked. We are currently, and we can confirm that it is a DDoS attack, so if you're right now trying to play on Chaos, it might be difficult. This is the official post on the Lodestone. We are currently experiencing technical difficulties due to a DDoS attack. Players may experience the following issues as a result. We are investigating the attack and taking countermeasures. Additional information will be provided as the situation develops. So this is what you may be experiencing: being disconnected from the EU data center worlds, difficulty logging into EU data center worlds, and difficulty accessing, sending, and receiving data from the EU data centers. It's been a while since we've had that happen, which is surprising, actually, that it hasn't happened more often. But I remember the big one that was like a couple of years ago. I think there was a massive one that, like, I think it kept the servers down for almost a day. It was a very major one. Hopefully this one won't be as bad, but there you go. It's probably resolved by the time this is up on YouTube, so this is old news.
Oh, it should. If it's not resolved by the time this is up on YouTube, there's a big problem.
Well, DDoS attacks can, like, continue like intermittently for several days as well, unfortunately. But hopefully that's not the case. All right, in other news, the Final Fantasy XIV Shadowbringers Spotify soundtrack is... Sorry, let me say that again. The Final Fantasy XIV Shadowbringers soundtrack is now out on Spotify. That is 82 or 84 songs, I think, that have
Don't
just...
ask me the exact number of tracks.
I think it's 84. They are now available on Spotify, which means all expansion soundtracks are on Spotify now. So that is good news.
And on
Yeah.
Amazon Music.
Oh, they're also on Amazon. Okay, Amazon
Yeah.
Music as well. There you go.
Long enough.
Yeah.
The new soundtrack coming out in about a month's time, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So God, there's so much. Like, if you go, there's like a playlist with all of the expansion, like 14 music, and it's like 37 hours. So just relax. You have enough. You have a lot of music to listen to. If you, okay. Here's the thing. This might be a hot take. I don't want to listen to like the Shirogane, the Kugane music when I'm on the go. Because I hear it so much in game. I can see some of the tracks, like some of the cooler tracks, like the boss, like, you know, like example, last Omega battle music, for instance, like stuff like that. But I have never, like the twinning, I guess. Yeah, there are some good ones, but like I wonder if there's anyone out there that are like, I'm gonna boot up Spotify and then turns on like the housing theme. Sitting like working, sitting at work.
That's what people do during maintenance, so they can feel like they're playing 14.
God, housing. I haven't heard the housing music in a very long time. Turn that shit off very
I
early.
was so blessed when we could turn it off. God.
yeah.
I don't listen to specific songs, but I will just listen to soundtracks straight through when I'm at work. So there are some people that just want to appreciate the whole soundtrack. I don't think I'd ever seek out certain songs, though.
No. I can see that.
I've put it on before, and you hear a song. Oh yeah, this one was cool. A lot of them just blur into the background though. If you do something else.
That's what's so good with 14's music. It's like meant to be like in the background, so it kind of yeah. Okay, moving on. Alisaie has got her CG artwork now. I won't show this on stream, but because we are also an audio podcast, so we will just have to do our best to describe this. But the link is in the description on the video, and it's on the speakers. Sorry, it's on the Final Fantasy XIV Twitter, the English Twitter. So make sure you go and check that out. Are we going to address her sword?
According to Mailer, it looks very delicious.
I'd give it a suck.
It looks both delicious and unfortunate, maybe.
Not for the shape, but the material, because it looks like...
Umbral said what
silicone.
I was thinking, yeah.
Well, it kind of looks like boiled sweets, like a lollipop candy or something.
Mm-hmm. You are that's very innocent of you. I like that. I like that you went for that. That's good.
I've always thought it was a weird material.
It's a lot of...
sword.
Bad Dragon.
But it also does look like Hades'
Moving on.
Yes.
Yeah, you can go see that on the Twitter, so make sure you check that out. Okay, bit of a discussion coming up here. There are new optional items and a limited time sale on the Final Fantasy XIV online store. So the Moonfire Fair items from last year is being put up there. But there were a lot of rumors before this. Like, it's been months of speculation, actually, about Cruise Chaser. And that, whether or not it would be implemented in-game. And one of the rumors that persisted the longest was the fact that Cruise Chaser was going to be a PvP mount. I don't really know. I guess it was based on, previous rewards for PvP, but It was never
based
any
on trends in PvP. Feast rewards.
Not based on anything from Square Enix or like the devs or anything. It is a purely made community speculation, right?
Mm-hmm.
We all knew deep inside. We all did. We all knew what was going to happen with this mount. And the fact that people were talking about it so much, I think just sealed the deal. Because the Cruise Chaser mount, for those that don't know, is now on the Final Fantasy XIV online store for $30. How do you feel about
£17?
Yeah, £17 and 21 euros. So, thoughts?
Better than it being a PvP mount.
That is an interesting point.
A feast reward mount.
Feast, sorry. Better than top 100 feast reward mount. Still sucks.
I think I would agree.
Can I just say that this is a weird take because this was never confirmed. I see this everywhere, like better than a PvP mount, but that was never. We don't even know if that was ever an option.
No.
The argument should be,
well, that's
in-game
the greatest fear.
Or on the Mog Station.
That's because the Mog Station is not the worst case scenario. The worst case scenario is feast.
But we didn't get the worst case scenario.
And that's why everyone is afraid of that. That's why people are assuming that is, like, that's why everyone is talking about that as the thing they would fear the most.
What happened, and this we're going to touch a little bit on that, but something that this community does a lot is that we make something up, like based on speculation, and then that becomes fact. And then when it doesn't go that way, they're like, well, at least it wasn't that. And then I was like, as if that was
becomes reality. You should know that.
Yeah, right. But that happens a lot in this community. And then we go, but at least it wasn't that. Meanwhile,
well, that is true. But we also are correct half the time as well. Like, next expansion, we're going to go to Alamigo.
Yeah.
Yes, we did go to Alamigo. But unfortunately, it was this. Or, we also went here. We do get it right half the time, which is why I think once people say things...
Alamigo, Mela, that was definitely not the same, because the story literally told us that we were going to Alamigo.
Not...
That wasn't pulled out of, like, just based on some speculation that, maybe I'll... It wasn't like going into, like, Stormblood. We're like, maybe Alamigo? Is Alamigo a possibility, guys? I think Alamigo might be a possibility.
No, but a lot of things, like including jobs and stuff, that there was not.
Remember that the first teaser they dropped was literally Lys and the Warrior Flight fighting on Ralger's arm, and that was it, with the resistance like in the background, like preparing. Like it was very obvious.
What the resistance was at the time.
What?
We didn't know the resistance looked like that at the time.
They used the purple banners. We knew that because we had the Raven stuff. The Griffin. The Griffin.
There you
go. Yeah, so that was... anyways, I don't know why we're... anyways, so to me, I've given up, obviously. I don't care. This is just me being devil's advocate because, someone has to in this community. What we're seeing... and what I think is that when all of the people were like, oh, Cruise Chaser, they saw the demand. And they were like, ooh, money. And, I mean, that's how it is now, isn't it? I don't know.
There are things
There's so much they could have done with the
station that have a place in the game, and there are things on the Mog Station that are fine to be on the Mog Station. It's very similar to the downfall of WoW during Draenor, when all the mounts that were on the whatever that store's called were super cool and unique, and were obviously meant to be reputation rewards for whatever the factions were. In this game, we have Sleipnir, who should have been a reward for doing the Odin trial.
Yeah.
We have then we have like the Red Baron and the White Ray, whatever it's called.
Oh yeah,
the Magitek Walkers. They're fine.
Yeah.
They could have been alternate skins. The Moogle thing could have been a reward.
Yeah. There's a whole Moogle
but then the
tribe.
Chocobo carriage is okay. So some of them are fine and some of them aren't. And I think in this case, this one would have been better in game.
So I definitely prefer it in game.
Yeah.
But It could be worse. I'm not that too bothered about it.
No, but see this. Yeah,
that's how I feel.
I've given up because I know most of the community is fine with the cash shop, and that battle is long lost. But consider the alternative. Rival Wings. I see chat bringing it up as well. This could have been a perfect way to revive Rival Wings by actually giving you rewards that are worth working for, and make a fucking roulette. Fix a Stragolos.
Yeah.
The Magitech, what are they called? Monkeys.
Monkey. Wait.
Avengers?
Avengers, thank you.
Yeah.
Magitech Avengers are very worth it.
I don't know.
You do get a funny monkey.
This is from someone who doesn't. I don't care about mounts. Made this very clear before. I don't care about mounts. I use my one mount most of the time, right? But for those that care about mounts, do you not care more about the mount if you worked for it and got it in game? Or am I just not understanding the idea of mounts?
Very few prestigious mounts, but it does have them. Like the Moorball, if you see someone on that, you're like, yeah, you've worked hard for that.
I
mean, any mount that has that level of prestige is good, in my opinion. Anything you have to work hard for. But timed ones I don't like. So if it was a feast reward, I know I'd never get it. So I would have been angry.
Okay.
But if it was like, like some people in chat bring up Alexander, or probably not Alexander, but let's say Blue Mage gets to try out Alexander, and that's the reward. That's really prestigious. You'll see like 5 cruise chase, and you'll think that person really deserves that.
Yeah.
Because they worked hard. But we don't have many prestigious mounts, sadly.
And I feel like
we
might be getting less and less considering this.
Even then, some of the prestigious mounts, like the one for clearing Heaven on High 4 times, it's not that cool.
No, it's just a dodo.
No, that's true.
No, sorry, that's the one.
The dodo is a.
What's the one you're getting from Heaven on High?
Sack drop. It's just a fancy horse.
Oh God!
Oh God! I remember that.
And everyone knows horses are the worst mounts in 14. I fucking hate every single horse mount. They're so gangly and just stringy, and they look so weird and muscular. I hate it.
There's only one good horse mount in this game, and it's on the Mog Station. It's that like really fancy armored one that looks cool.
Oh yeah. Well, the Garo ones are pretty alright, aren't they?
Ugh.
I say that I
didn't get any of the Garo ones.
Yeah. All right.
I couldn't.
I put in a lot of work to get those Garo ones in the last 2 months before the event ended.
Yeah, you did.
I did far more face than I ever wanted to do.
Right. Yeah. What I don't know what else to say. I think it is sad. It could have been a Rival Wings mount. I don't know why they want to kill Rival Wings so bad.
You know they don't care about Rival Wings.
I know.
I don't think they want to kill it. I think they just don't care about it. They don't have. It's not cold. You're not actively killing it if you're just not doing anything about it.
Well, they literally just shut off Astragolos based on. Okay, we can't go into the whole Astragolos discussion, but
it's Rival Wings is something they could fix in an afternoon of someone's work.
Yeah.
Well, they said they're going to focus more on PvP next expansion.
They
right?
did. There's a big
give it its due. So it might be then, but at least for right now, PvP or especially Rival Wings is like a PvP mode is very under cared for. So the little dying rose in the garden that needs to be watered.
Yeah. I also it's fine, whatever. I don't care about mounts. This is this is what the community wants, and I will just accept that. I wouldn't have gotten this either way probably, so it doesn't matter. Okay, moving right along, we have a Q&A session with Banri Oda done by 4Gamer. So on May 28th, 2021, we asked our readers, a link to that, of course, in the description.
They're raiders.
Yeah, sorry, there's a typo. Our raiders to send in questions for Mr. Banri Oda, lead story designer for Square Enix's MMORPG Final Fantasy XIV. Planning to sit down with him for a Q&A session from our readers. Our readers did not disappoint and sent in a plenitude of tough questions for Oda. While some asked about topics we imagine all players would love to hear about, there were also questions about extremely obscure details, as well as one with a gargantuan character count that could not be sent via our questionnaire, where the reader had to use an external web service to send us the whole question.
That's a lot of the word reader.
Yeah, lots of that. It's funny because the first line misspelled that, so it's
they checked their article immediately.
Though we would have loved to have Oda answer all your questions, we had to whittle down the number due to time constraints, ending up with the 15 questions below. All right, here we go. First question. Did the Warrior of Light bake all those coffee biscuits?
It's a good start.
Good start.
Thanks readers.
I noticed that coffee biscuits were recently brought up in the story. Are these the biscuits that the Warrior of Light made for the guild leave? Oda, I'm happy to hear that people are reading the guild leave flavor text. I would say that the person who made the coffee biscuits mentioned in the story might depend on how many times you, the Warrior of Light Darkness, have completed the guild leave, a cookie for your troubles. Let's imagine how things would go. One time... Hanji-Fei, the owner of the second serving, sticks her nose in the batch of biscuits you delivered and takes a deep breath. That's it. 10 times. Once again, Hanji-Fei buries her face in the mound of biscuits you delivered and takes another deep, deep breath. Nothing else happens. Too bad. 100 times. Congratulations, your coffee biscuits have finally reached the storefront. Reen, Gaia, and even Y'shtola have enjoyed them. Now, if you are the type of person who bought coffee biscuits at the second serving to complete the guild leave, Hanji-Fei has made a small fortune from the margin and also has used it all to buy even more sweets for herself. What a way to dynamize the city's economy. There you go. There's the coffee biscuit meme. What is the most important for you when creating a story? This is a real question. What is most important for you? What is the most important for you when creating world lore or a story? Is there anything you use for reference when creating lore? Oda says, pragmatically speaking, we have to take the story's medium into consideration, and through that lens, take a hard look at its intended audience and its purpose. Final Fantasy XIV is a game, which means that the story itself is not the final product. Various elements like character models, backgrounds, animations, music, sound effects, visual effects, quests, cutscenes, battles, etc. are necessary to bring the story to life. This means we also have to be mindful of whether the story and all related elements can be realized within our game's design and schedule limitations. Plus, we need to synchronize everything with the player's game experience. Take the healer role quest, for example. These are targeted towards players who play as healers, therefore it is important to incorporate some form of healing into the actual quest. When thinking about crafting Gathering Beast Tribe quest, we should take into consideration the characteristics of the Beast Tribe, as well as ensure that the story revolves around having the player craft and gather in the game. Make sense? Written media, such as short stories and picture books, on the other hand, have much fewer limitations. We can have the story take place in regions not yet implemented in 14, so long as we can put in an illustration or screenshot, like the one they did of, what's the, Mericidia. Remember that? When there was just Silent Hill fog everywhere, it was just the sky. We can even make characters eat dried squid by using a squished up Kraken model.
Oh my god.
Is that what it is?
True.
That's cute. That's cute.
However, we still need to make sure that we are focusing on appropriate themes and topics. This depends on whether we are writing a short story for the fans or a picture book that children who do not know about 14 might read. Sure, there are fewer limitations, but the purpose and target of the story are still very important.
I hope they start making picture books for children that are unfamiliar with 14.
That'll be good. I feel personally attacked that he picked the healer role quest. The only one I've not done.
Yeah. You should do it. It's good.
You still have
I'm not got an 80 healer. I hate healer.
Oh, it's so not that difficult.
It's the worst role.
So you haven't even tried.
Just get to 71 and then do it in Bazja, and then you can become a DPS.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's true. Yeah.
You don't even have to heal. You can just damage.
Yeah. Any inspirations or references? Do you have any references or anything that inspires you when writing? Do you read up on literature like the Bible, the classics, or myths? Do you read up on literature like the Bible?
Just, out of interest. Do you read any of the classics, myths, or the Bible?
The Bible. Yeah.
The Bible. Oda.
It's not really a very Christian game, or maybe for Ishgard.
Final Fantasy,
they might.
Yeah, but Final Fantasy is very what's the word? Critical when it comes to religion, I should say.
It does also take reference from a number of religions and myths throughout the world.
Yeah.
In the creation of its primals or summons.
Yeah.
What a weird question, though.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. I mean, something must inspire him. I think the examples are a bit leading, a little weird, but we'll see. Oda says, many things influenced me, too many to narrow down. When writing the main story of Heavensward, for example, I looked into how the fantasy series A Song of Ice and Fire and the simulation RPG Tactics Ogre Let Us Cling Together were created. The former...
That's a lie. Heavensward finished.
Tactics Ogre. I think it's a good... I like it.
Heavensward finished. Heavensward finished, Mela. That's true. So he can't be influenced by A Song of Ice and Fire.
George.
What are you doing, George?
Seriously, George.
R.R. Martin?
Right, you butt.
What are you
doing? Right, you butt. He's probably watching this, so you butt.
He's watching this on his black and green computer. We're just like this little pixelated. We're all green.
Yeah.
All right.
Vision.
The former apparently referenced the Wars of the Roses. And the latter drew upon historical ethnic conflicts with the Yugoslav wars for its themes. The methodology of how these stories were created helped me write Heavensward. I also read through the Bible back when I was still in school, and during my university years. During my university years, I studied philosophy and ideology, which were my interests at the time. I never thought I would be making games, let alone writing scenarios, but I guess you never know what will come in handy.
I went to a Catholic high school and primary school. I never read the Bible, so I want to know why.
You never read the Bible?
He studied ideology, though. Maybe that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, theology.
Well, this guy was interested in that kind of stuff, though. I guess that's the difference here.
Ironic.
I try to consume anything and everything I find interesting by default, but I also try to get into things that other people recommend to me. A Song of Ice and Fire, for example, was recommended to me by Kenichi Iwao, who was my predecessor as world lore creator. I also read Ahuresa, a railway traveler's journal, which was the initial inspiration for the Namasu quests, because my wife recommended it. There you go.
I'm glad he's read A Song of Ice and Fire.
Yeah.
Get him to read a good book. I don't know.
Whoa.
Okay.
Have you read A Song of Ice and Fire?
Ice and Fire is a good series.
No, I don't read
You are
bad
thinking
books.
about the TV show, Rollo, and that is unfair.
They're too wordy, and it's like
it's not wordy. It's not too wordy. It's really easy to read.
I think you need to read the book before you can say anything, or at least
He's
read a
actually
page.
a really good writer.
Yeah, he is
It's
a good
very
writer.
digestible.
Song of Ice and Fire is a good book.
I've read experts from it, and I just don't. I don't like.
Honestly, Rollo, it's good.
Listen to an audiobook then of A Song of Ice and Fire. Have Stephen Fry read it to you. No, that was.
I wish he did it. He did Harry Potter.
That was Harry Potter. Okay. Also, we know that he was a fan of Ice and Fire. I mean, the end of A Realm Reborn was very.
And
a lot of this.
Never get away from Game of Thrones.
Okay. Where is the current Count Zamail? Zamail? I never know.
Zamail.
Zamail. We get to see Tarrasson de Zamail in the game, but we have yet to meet the current Count Zamail. Maybe it's just that I haven't found him yet, but will he make an appearance in the future? Or is there some other reason we cannot meet him? I'm dying to find out. Oda. Back in the original Final Fantasy XIV, we had a questline about Zamail Darkhold that featured the former Count's men. The house probably suffered financially due to its failure to complete the Darkhold. However, House Zamail is known for its architectural prowess and has built many a castle in its time. Maybe the Count is leading the construction of the residential areas of Ishgard.
Is he?
Is he, though?
Didn't get that impression when Tarrasson is the only one that appeared.
True.
In the Ishgard restoration.
Yeah. Is that the only Count that's missing that we haven't seen of the four houses? There's.
I think so. For Tom is obviously is.
Well, for
is the
Tom,
best,
yeah. Okay, I guess we have them all. We don't have to remember where they were. But,
No.
All right. When did the Heaven's Ward become enthralled? The Heaven's Ward, everyone.
Pause right there.
When exactly did the Heaven's Ward become enthralled? Sir Seraphin designed those with exceptional ability. Sephirin designated those with exceptional abilities as members when he became the
Right.
that word. Was he tempered at this point? Oda. After former Heaven's Ward. That word.
Command right.
Yeah, I'm not.
The name as well.
I refuse to say it.
Vendro de Rouchemont.
Sir Vendro de Rochemond retired. I refuse to read this properly. Sephirin was chosen as Archimandrite and was allowed to designate the new members of the Heaven's Ward. The knights were turned when all 12 were granted an audience with the Archbishop for the first time. Keep in mind that becoming tempered does not necessarily mean that the individual loses all their memories and characteristics. The Archbishop, in particular, could not risk the populace becoming suspicious of his actions, so he didn't fully cook the Knights of the Heaven's Word into mindless tempered, opting to keep them at a rare state instead. What the
Lightly
fuck?
toasted Heaven's Ward.
Thus, they were not puppets that did nothing but repeat words of worship, but he nevertheless ensured that they would obey his orders and never betray him. This is the difference between him and the other primals like Ifrit, who prefers their tempered well done.
Is this his hang-up?
What?
Like Yoshi P with the TV series? He's like, it has to be like food.
You know what? I much prefer these analogies to the seasons.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
So maybe I am one of the only people that didn't realize this. I didn't think the Heaven's Ward were tempered until the point in the Singularity Reactor.
No, I never got I got the impression that they were fairly evil people just in general.
Yeah,
and
but
were just following orders.
so now I'm a bit more sympathetic to them.
No, I remember there's a scene with this is a long time ago. The Archbishop, he talks. Is it him? The whatever his fucking name is.
Zephyrin.
There's a point where he's like, I'm evil and you are evil too. And then he goes, okay. And then he just goes, whoosh. And then something happens and he goes, and in front of him.
Excuse me?
You know, he speaks with that voice, you know, from the vault. You know what I mean?
Oh, right.
Luchino, this is gonna be work, but I want you, when this goes up, to put the actual clip of what the fuck you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
I don't know if I can do that. That's a lot of. I mean,
go to the storybook cutscene, and where he goes.
I swear, it happened. It happened, and that's when I went, "Oh, okay. There's some tempering here. This is not real."
I'm interested in this as well.
Especially No.
Why do you make him sound like Meta Knight and fucking Brawl?
Because no one can sound like that. I'm not tempered, I promise. All right.
So, yeah, this was new information to me. I did not realize this at the time.
Okay.
No. I should have. People in chat are pointing out that they probably wouldn't have been able to do what they did in the vault if they weren't tempered. But
no.
I just didn't put that together at the time. I thought maybe they were because like Iselle herself is not tempered when she becomes a primal, is she not?
Not that I'm aware of.
No.
She chooses to give up her flesh
she has
or
the
whatever.
echo. She has the echo, so
Yeah.
she's immune. She would be immune regardless.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought it was a bit like the heretics using the dragon's blood, but reversible. Like they can just turn into these big people.
Yeah.
I just thought French Catholic elves could just be that evil naturally.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I didn't think much of it.
Yeah.
See, I didn't think that because I read their descriptions in the first lore book, and like based on their descriptions, like some of them you could perceive as like being willing to do this, but for some of them it didn't make sense, to be honest. Like their personalities didn't match with their actions.
Right. Oh, well, now we know. Right. Why do the Archons have marks in different places? Yes.
This is very good.
I would like to know more about the mark of the Archons. I noticed that the Archons bear the mark in a variety of places, like on both sides of the neck, on a cheek, or on the... Which cheek? Or the forehead. Is there a rank...
That's where Oriange is.
Is there a rank within the Archons or something that dictates where the mark goes? Why is Oriange the only one that has the mark on his face, like Louisoix and Matoya?
That's a good question, actually.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah, I want to know.
Oda says that there are two designs for the Archon's crest, the official one and a simplified version. Let's take a look at Moenbryda, for example. The mark on her leg is the official crest, and the one on her neck is simplified. Each Archon can choose whether they would like to bear one or both, as well as where to put it. It seems like a bold choice for Oriange to have his right on his face, but perhaps what he really wanted was to have it on his forehead, like his respected mentor, Louisoix.
So was Louisoix bold from a young age?
See, that's... yeah.
Pretty much, he had a head of hair, then he became Gorbachev, and got his little Scion tattoo.
But yes, this confirms that, like, they're the same thing. We thought one of them was the symbol for the Circle of Knowing and one was an Archon symbol, but they're both the same.
Yes.
And they get to choose, which is interesting.
Where would you put yours?
Like top of your arm, because it's not in the way.
Yeah, probably the top of my arm, like Graha.
Yeah. Okay. Definitely not on your face. Or Moenbryda's thigh one's a little bit weird.
That's cool. I'll give myself like a womb tattoo. That's what
I'm sorry.
Is Graha the only person who has one right now that it doesn't have it visible?
Yeah.
Because his current outfit has sleeves, where his Realm Reborn outfit did not.
Does he not have the neck one?
Does he have neck ones? Why have I not considered, like... I always just acknowledge the ones on his arm.
I think he has the neck ones, so they are visible, yeah.
Sinian is not he does have the neck ones.
Yeah.
Sinian is not an Archon,
He's not
and
an
I don't
Archon.
see him ever becoming one.
No.
Forcibly tattoo him.
No, Sinian.
Hold him down.
Is Makoto one?
I believe Makoto is an Archon, but no, she doesn't. I don't know where hers are either.
It's just somewhere you can't see. That's all.
Yeah, she's probably got like a tramp stamp on or something.
Okay. Does the Namasu
Well,
tribe...
she was friend...
Yeah, we need to move on. Time is ticking. We must move. As interesting as it is to figure out where Mikoto's tattoo is, we must move on. Does the Namasu tribe speak in the Ibaraki... What am I reading? Ibaraki dialect. I have a question about... This is Japanese.
This is a Japanese translated interview.
Yeah. I have a question about Namasu speech. In the Japanese version of the game, they use expressions like peo and goyappe. Perfect.
Goyappe.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I did the correct pronunciation now. Which seems to be based on the dialects used in Ibaraki, Japan. Japan. I'm pretty good at it.
He's so poor.
My language circuit switched to Norwegian mid-sentence. Are they written to speak... sorry, where am I? We weren't in Japan. Are they written to speak in the Ibaraki dialect? I did it. I got through it.
Right. That was only the question, though.
True. We weren't going for the Ibaraki dialect, but rather a distinctive way to express emotions. We started with upepe, which led them to ending sentences with peo and pena. which sounds similar.
This question does not translate.
We will
all.
get through this. We have a rule in the style guide for our scenario writers that clearly states that the Namas who don't speak in the Ibaraki dialect, Gyoke does use
a rule
the
that says that
expression Gorjape, which is derived directly from the Ibaraki dialect, but we are using it to emphasize how eccentric he is. It's not a word all Namazu use.
We did it, and we got a lot from that question.
Yapon.
As non-Japanese speakers.
Hi.
I'm crying.
Interesting.
Okay, all right. Why can summoners call forth Phoenix? Also, is Tiamat upset about us summoning Bahamut?
Oh, remember job lore for skills?
Those were the days.
Yeah. I can understand how the Warrior of Light can summon Bahamut, since they were at the Cartano Flats during the 7th Umbral Calamity and came in contact with Bahamut's ether. What?
Not necessarily.
No.
That's only
1.0 players.
legacy players.
True. When it comes to Phoenix, however, they were teleported to the future just before Louisoix transformed into Phoenix. Again, legacy players. How can the Warrior of Light call it forth even though they have not been around its ether?
Well, we got to meet Phoenix in Coils, though.
Yeah, but not everyone has done Coil.
Isn't it forced now?
No, it is.
Coil has never been forced.
Coil
They're not gonna
should
expect
be.
people to do savage things.
I wish they.
I thought they changed it in the rejig to make you go, but never mind.
I wish there was a way to make it required, because it is still baffling that we'll talk about this every fucking time. We don't have time, but it's a shame that it's not. I play as a summoner, but sort of feel beholden to Tiamat. She has mentioned that Bahamut's soul and power were profaned by being called forth, and I worry that seeing the Warrior of Light summon him may upset her. Will she eat me alive one day?
Well, as far as I know, that's the greatest expression of love from a dragon. So probably not.
Oda says, Louisoix used Phoenix's power of rebirth to reconstruct the environs destroyed by Bahamut. This caused corrupted... I can't say... I can't speak today. Another day where I can't speak. Corrupted crystals to appear all over the renewed Eorzea. Does the color look familiar? That's right. They're the same color as Phoenix. When Phoenix returned to ether, said ether was spread all over Eorzea and embedded within the corrupted crystals. The Warrior of Light, who passed from Cartano into a realm reborn, unknowingly came in contact with Phoenix's ether as well. This is why all summoners can call on Phoenix, regardless of whether they have completed the Binding Coil of Bahamut raids.
So does that mean the zombies in Pharos Sirius are like a little bit Phoenix?
It's like, they're like 1% Louisoix.
Yeah, there's a little bit of Louisoix in there.
I don't know about that, lore. I mean, it's kind of good, but it kind of feels a little bit... I don't know.
It's
orangey, so it's Phoenix.
I'm going to just guess that this is like something that was made up later, but they just kind of made sense because of the color, and like, oh, okay, there you go, we've solved that. Moving on. Which is fine. I mean, that's how lore develops in games, so yeah. Regarding Tiamat, she was extremely displeased that the Telepharoi were abusing Bahamut's power. I would say she would not be very happy should you try to twist and misuse his power as well.
So I guess as long as you use it correctly or like justly, she'll be fine with it.
I think she'd be upset just seeing it.
Cool.
Summoners
disrespectful.
That one's not that strong, though.
No, but you're still like using his like. I mean, it's still a little. It's like
just do /Bahamut tiny, and she won't be so.
Maybe she won't see it. Well, what's the point? Why are you even doing it? Like, hey Tiamat, look what I have. And then it's just a tiny Bahamut. Like, look at this. Look at this. How do you feel about this? Are you angry?
What if you have the wind-up minion? Does she get offended at that too?
I would assume so. That's just an automaton. So I don't know if...
Yeah.
Making a mockery of him. turning him into a little toy. Unacceptable.
I don't know. I think just why do it? Why do that? Don't be an asshole to Tiamat. She's been through enough.
Yeah.
She's free now, though. So
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
How effective are healers at healing injuries? Since the main story discussed a character's injuries recently, can you tell us more about medicine in Eorzea? Also, what is the extent of a healer's ability to heal an injury? That's interesting. Every time someone like plays an MMO, they're like, every time a character gets wounded, they're like, oh, just use cure or raise. So let's see what Oda has to say about this. There are various schools of healing magic, such as white magic and conjuring, but all are methods of healing and purification by redirecting ether to replenish life force and bolster the target's natural healing capabilities. This means that magic will not work on targets whose life force is depleted and cannot be replenished, or is suffering from a disease that will not heal naturally. Symptoms like these are treated by using alchemical concoctions, which are the equivalent of real-life medicines, and surgical treatments like what is that word? Sutures and amputation.
I think that's a pretty good explanation
That makes sense.
to it.
Yeah.
I mean,
you can't.
Yeah.
I like
can't
it
heal-
in. Sorry, go on, Gilgy.
You can't heal like Arenvold's, I guess, broken legs,
No.
because
No,
that would require like actually moving the bones into place.
Yeah.
it kind of feels like a reference to real life, like Renaissance medicine, though, where people went from like quack medicine to actual scientific methods. But in this game, they work. The quack medicine works. So it's a little bit weird.
Yeah.
And the stuff for raise too, it's like we're using raise, you're using it on dead people.
Yeah.
I mean, I know we always say like, oh, I've died.
Yeah.
You're knocked out.
Yeah.
Is what it says.
Yeah. I think a lot of people don't understand that or don't know that when you die in game or your HP reaches 0, you are knocked out. You're not actually dead. You're not being brought back from the dead. So there you go.
You're only dead if you disappear in sparkles.
Or if you get blood out of your mouth. That is a sure sign that you're about to die. All right. The land area of the in-game countries. Can you tell us the rough land area of the various countries that appear in the game, including Bosnia and Azim Steppe? It would be great if you could rank the largest and smallest country if you cannot tell us exact numbers.
The Azim Steppe is a country.
No.
No, I call it a region.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
What part of is it under Doma? Like what is the
Well, it's like it's a step with like wandering tribes, so it's
just no one owns
it's wherever the tribes are, really.
Right. Yeah. This answer will only cover the 3 great continents, but if we were to rank the countries by land area, the Garlean Empire is the largest. So there you go, confirmed. That is a massive area that's underneath those clouds. Well, I guess it includes the provinces then. So we've already...
Probably.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, the Garlean Empire probably is just all of Ilsabard.
No
other country covers an entire continent.
True. That's, yeah. Dalmasca should come in second had it been able to become one country instead of splitting. That's interesting. The Azim Steppe is also quite large when it comes to land area, but because the nomads living on the land have not formed a nation as such, it does not place in this list. Several large countries that are currently imperial colonies exist as well, but they are hidden by clouds on the world map. There you go. There are more imperial colonies. In Eorzea, the city-states are usually smaller. Ishgard, in particular, suffered from climate change brought on by the 7th Umbral Calamity.
It's real.
The dramatic drop in temperature has led to the state abandoning some of its lands, and the areas that currently function as part of it are pretty limited.
Why did it abandon?
We'll see the lowlands again.
The Kurthus.
Is it just those curtain
the Dominion
bits?
of Kurthus, yeah.
Who owns Zalphathol?
No one, I don't think.
No.
It's just an exile.
The Exile, yeah.
Zelpathol is technically just a mountain range, and
I suppose, yeah.
Well, that's interesting. So he's saying that Ishgard is like the smallest nation of all of them, which makes sense.
I guess.
It's
Which
just
makes
that.
sense. It's just the city.
Yeah.
Little city on a rock.
Yeah.
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 How many country. Well, we've seen underneath the clouds at the bottom of Othard, though, haven't we?
Oh yeah, we have.
Yes,
yeah.
we have.
Yeah.
This is an old map that they have
Yeah.
included in the
Yeah.
article.
Yeah.
It was like 1 or 2 places there, maybe.
And we can see.
I just want to see.
But
the
on that
without
map, you can
clouds.
see the size of Dalmasca. It's a pretty large area, though, so it makes sense. Yeah. Which makes it
Don't
even
worry, we'll
sadder
never go
that
there
we'll-
again.
Yeah, exactly. We'll never go there. Okay, technically, we'll probably never go to the Garlean Empire either, because it's probably going to break up in Endwalker.
I mean,
No.
I mean, it already.
to Garlemald.
We're going to Garlemald, but we'll never see like the Garlean Empire at its peak, which, I mean, Garlemald
No.
has collapsed, so.
I mean, we're not seeing Garlemald at its peak.
No, we're not seeing
No.
that continent at its peak at all.
I would like them to release historic maps once they've uncovered the world.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I hope they do that. That they have.
Maybe next lore book.
I would love
Yeah.
that, please. Okay. The calamity's impact on the world. The 7th Umbral Calamity rained shards of Dalamud all over Eorzea, causing catastrophic damage. Did anything happen to the other areas of the world? I'd like to know how the Empire and the continent of Othard were affected. Oh, yes.
What you've always wanted
good
to
question.
kill.
Oh, it's such a short set. Oh, it's such a small answer. Oda. Yes, the calamity affected the world in varying degrees because the life stream and ethereal currents flow through every corner of the world. Much like an earthquake, the impact was smaller in areas that are far away from Eorzea. Therefore, we can assume that it did not affect the Empire and the Far East very much. There it
There you
is.
go.
There it is.
Calamities don't have to be global catastrophic events.
This is what
Maybe
I mean.
it would have become
This
a global
is
catastrophic event.
this is a post A Realm Reborn retcon. But I will just accept it. This is the guy, right? So his word is law. But this definitely is something
His
that
word
happened.
is law. Thank you very much.
Sorry, yeah. This is something that they did after A Realm Reborn, like when they started thinking about the Far East and stuff, I think. But because during A Realm Reborn and 1.0, it was very clear that this was like a fucking planet devastation event that was happening. Wasn't that?
No.
That's fine. That's fine.
The very
I accept it.
localized.
Yeah.
event.
I accept
Yeah.
it now because we understand it more. Like the it's been more fleshed out. So I
Well, the
accept
fact is that Louis Swart did stop him in his tracks. That he could have gone on to go to the
Yes,
Empire
it could have
and
been a
stuff
lot
like
worse. That's true. Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay. So printing technology in Eorzea. In the L Tau custom deliveries quest.
Elto, thank you.
L Tau.
Old toe.
In the old toenail custom delivery quest line, it was mentioned that the machinery in the Skysteel manufactory could be used to print. It also seems like Ishgard has many quests that mention books and printing. Like the memoirs of Count Edmond de Forton, for example. Could you elaborate on the printing technology and publication in Eorzea?
Well, we
Oh,
have
yes.
the newspapers as well. They didn't mention
Yeah,
newspapers.
Mithril Eye, hello.
Yeah.
Harbor Herald, the Raven.
And the other one. Right.
The other one. Oda says, letterpress printing is currently beginning to spread in areas like Ishgard and the Garlean Empire, where mechanization is advancing. Areas that have advanced mammoth technology, like Ul'dah, on the other hand, utilize mammoths made especially for transcription.
That sounds so inefficient.
Yeah. Transcription mammoths can copy handwritten text and pictures to some extent. Though they are slower than letterpress printing, their ability to reproduce the original is quite impressive. Ether-based methods of copying, similar to glamour prisms and magic prisms, are used as a form of printing as well. Progress in printing has taken a different route in Eorzea compared to our world.
I don't like the
Interesting
sound
with
of
the glamour.
ether-based. That sounds... I don't like that.
I wish he addressed the newspapers.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they've been going on forever.
Maybe he forgot. Because it feels
Oh,
like everyone's
I mean-
forgotten about them right now.
I'm sure aren't they usually based in Ul'dah anyway, so they probably just use the mammoths, right?
No, they're
Each city
one
state has
for
one.
each.
Yeah.
Oh, each season. Okay, that's
yeah,
right.
yeah.
And they only get mentioned during season events.
Not
usually.
anymore.
Well,
Well,
not even that anymore. No, I know,
no,
but they only
'cause
used to.
they used to be articles from the papers originally.
Yeah, and it was so cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to come back with the 15 event. That starts with a
That's
reporter.
true. Because that was
Oh,
the
yeah, we
style
get
at
to
the
enjoy
time.
an
when it
old-
was- Yeah. Yeah. Are the Ixal domesticating boars?
What?
So that's a question.
You mean the shaggy shoat?
Yeah, I guess. Are the Ixal domesticating boars? I ask because bacon broth is an Ixali dish, and one of the ingredients, smoked bacon, is smoked boar meat. You can also find a shaggy shoat, a baby boar, inside a cage found in Selpathol. Oda.
Yeah.
Each of the beast tribes domesticates some type of animal or creature. In the case of the Ixal, this animal is indeed the boar which is bred and raised, but not truly domesticated because they have not yet started the process of selective breeding. This is why the shaggy shoat is described as a baby wild boar. These boars are fattened up and are ultimately eaten by the Ixal, by the way.
Wow.
Don't tell me that. That's
By
depressing.
the way. Well, I've rescued one shaggy shoat, and I'll never let him
That's
get
true. That's true.
I mean, the boars aren't even their primary, steed. They use wolves more often.
Yeah.
Well, these are purely for eating, Yogi. Boar burgers. Boar broth.
Well, maybe we'll get a boar as a mount someday.
That would be cool.
That would be cool.
A nice one from the Shroud, one of the classic boars.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is Feol's bell in the first made of bronze? I was very impressed by Feol's bell. The equivalent of the summoning bell is a greenish hue, apparently made out of bronze. I assume this is because of the Fae, which inspired the Pixies, are repelled by iron. Is this correct?
That's clever.
Had no clue that was a thing at all.
I suppose bronze does oxidize a bit green, but I'd have thought copper as well.
Copper would make sense as well, yeah. I love that you found this very small detail. We told the designers that when players are in the first, they will be summoning a pixie instead of their actual retainer, and requested they design the bell with that in mind. The result was a green bell, and we decided to go with it because it does not look like it's made from iron. So that was actually a choice. This is tangential to the subject, but Eorzean summoning bells are made of silver with a brass pedestal.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's the sort of thing I like.
Yeah, I like that attention to detail. That's very cool. And it's something I never thought about.
I
Ever.
don't think I've even looked at this bell for more than one quest. I don't
I've
even
been like,
summon
ooh,
things in the
okay,
first.
it's got wings. I think it's the only thing that I've registered about the bell. So that's cool.
I don't think I've ever summoned a retainer there. Ever, maybe.
Oh, I definitely.
I definitely
have.
have.
I have.
do very
It's
much
been a
in
long
Crystal
time. Okay, are Diabolos and Diablo different beings? I noticed that the Diablo armament, which appears to be which appears as the boss in the Dalriada, uses skills that are similar to the high-ranking Void Scent Diabolos. I assume that the Void Scent that was absorbed to create the biological weapon was something similar to Diabolos, but the Japanese version of the field record mentions that it is of the Diablo species. Why are these terms written differently? Oda says, you can assume they are the same type of Void Scent. The name is written differently in different contexts because the individual Void Scents were summoned and recorded by different civilizations. Diabolos by the Maquis and Diablo by the Allegan.
That's interesting.
So there's a species of Diablo or Diablos.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, that makes sense. Most Void Scent are not unique.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, even if it's the same Void Scent, they've got different written names based on the culture.
Yeah.
Kind of like, I suppose, like Greeks and Romans.
Yeah. That's cool.
That's
But
really
it does
clever.
confirm that the Diablo armament can't be the same as the Diablos we know from.
No, it's just of the same species or
Yeah.
Okay. That is it. That is the Q&A. That was a really good Q&A.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
It's always nice hearing from Banri.
That is the best
Yeah.
interview thing that I think there's been for a long time.
Yeah. I
That's
wish
really good information.
I think
he should get interviewed more.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Every time we read, because we've read a Banri Oda interview in the past, and I think we ended on the same note. It's like we need more of him.
Yeah,
because he's like the main. What is his title? Like he's the lore master. Like he is the
Yes.
Yeah. So he knows everything about everything. So there you go. That was the Banri Oda interview by 4Gamer. Very good. Link in the description if you want to read it yourself. Okay. We do have time, so we will continue our Shadowbringers review. Rollo, you weren't here last week, but we essentially. So what we'll have to do different today, because last week we had to just go through the MSQ, like summarize everything. We are at the end of the Shadowbringers story, like the base story. We need. I know that we are just going through the MSQ right now, which is something we've already done before, but it is hard to like review the story without actually going through it, if you know what I mean. But we'll try to be better at that today. So we're getting close to the end of the MSQ, so we still have to kill the Light Warden of Kalusha. This is where we are in the story. Oh, spoilers, by the way.
Mystery.
Let's see.
I wonder who the Light Warden of Kalusha is.
Wow. Wait for the bonk.
There it is. Yes. So there's this whole thing where we learn what meal is with Kaishir. We learn that it's actually... This is a good reveal, actually, because if you haven't paid attention, this might have been a bit of a shock. But even if you were paying attention, it was kind of a thing. Like that, I thought that was a really good reveal when you're like getting that realization that he's been eating potentially his friends, because that is like implied.
But no, not actually his friends.
No, because we learn later that they're alive, but that's a different part.
Which ruins it.
It ruins it, but at that point, let's not get ahead of ourselves. At that point, it is implied that he might have eaten his friends, right? They might have been in the meal. So we figure out that that's the thing, and we go to confront Volthree, and then we get to fight with Ranjit. Oh shit! It's Ranjit.
He's back.
And we.
Why does it exist?
It's Shadowbringers Xenos.
How do you feel about that fight?
It's so boring. I think someone in chat, in the comments for the last episode, or someone in chat brought this up. Ranjit should have died at Amarang, which I think we all agree with. And then the end fight of this duty should have been the jonglers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Zorn and Thorn.
Yeah. Do you think maybe they thought Ranjit was cooler? Oh, that's why they
he's
did
not
it.
cool. But apparently some people think he is cool. So
Yeah.
I mean, he has a cool design, and he has some.
Okay.
But we'd already fought him like twice. Like, why did they have to do it again?
It takes it away from Thancred's accomplishment for him not to defeat him.
Yeah.
That's true.
Thancred fucking sucks. He's a baby when you do everything.
Thancred's cool.
How dare you?
I think he overstayed his welcome in the storyline.
Yeah, at that last fight, I thought this is unnecessary.
Yeah. The end of all of the conflict for Ranjit is between Thancred and him about who is the better parent to Reen.
Yeah.
We have no real connection with Ranjit.
No. Okay, so we fight him, and then we get into Volthree's chamber, and that's when like the Sin Eater tit.
Little wings.
Sorry.
Yeah, I was hoping you'd bring that up, Mela.
Sorry, what?
The little wings.
Oh, yes.
It was like the caterpillar from.
Oh yeah.
Bugs Life.
Yes.
Bugs Life.
That's a reference. Yeah. So he turns into not yet, but he is revealed as the Light Warden of Kalusha. Essentially, flies off. So now we have to go to Mount Gulg, which is now like floating in the air.
It was a good visual.
Oh yeah, no, it was cool.
Before we got there, kind of ruined with the giant Talos, but it's fine.
The whole Talos, I'm reminded of, like, when we talked about Uldar's mammoths, I thought about the same, like, that's the same sort of stupid technology where they're like, how can we power this machine? Oh yeah, we'll just build another machine that will push it. Like, what is that? Stupid idea.
They probably invented the Talos first a long time ago, and they're like, wow, the Talos can do so many things. Why bother inventing other things?
True. I will say, though, this use of the Talos makes more sense. Like, they're building a giant fucking Talos that was going to help us get on there, right?
Yeah, it grabs the mountain.
Yeah, it grabs the mountain.
Well, first we have to repair the lift.
Yeah, we have to repair the lift.
This was like one of the weakest points for me.
Yeah.
It was a real like downer after the chase of Volthree, and it's like,
well, there is
elevator.
There is like one moment with Emmett Selk that is very interesting there. That's sort of where he kind of tries to reveal something. Like he's like vague, like he's vague posting a little bit.
I feel like this is the point at which I feel like this is the point where Emmett Selk has the most faith in us that we can actually stop the light.
Yeah. Anyways, we get the thing to work with the help of Chinus. Well, Chinus is like an engineer, right? That's his like job. He used
to work on all of that sort of stuff. He's Sid, essentially.
Sid.
He was the head of Talos production in Norvrant.
Yes. Yeah. So we get up to the second level, or the upper level of Kalusha, and now we get the Talos. We don't have to go through everything that happens there. There's so much. We make big Talos. Talos holds on.
There's a lot of dwarf stuff.
Yeah, it's a lot of dwarf stuff.
Basically, the dwarfs are so late in the story, to be honest.
Yeah, we meet the dwarves. There's the whole thing.
They gatekeep you unless you're a dwarf as well.
Yeah. So you get to go
like the Norwegians, Mela.
You can never have it Kushli Mela. So you climb the Talos, and you now unmount Golg. We'll talk about the dungeon when we do the dungeon reviews, so we're not going to go into that.
But this was very cool in that you do a dungeon and immediately jump into a trial.
Yeah.
I liked that.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want the last boss of the dungeon to be 4-3. It pushes you on to do anything.
Yeah, because that was I started to worry that was going to be the case, that he was going to be the last boss.
I remember at the time thinking that the trial with Innocence, or with Vorthri, well, we didn't know if Vorthri was Innocence. Well,
right.
You could theorize.
Yeah.
But I thought that would occur before the dungeon, because this is the first time the second trial is not at level like level blankety 7.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
True.
They broke the mold. And it worked.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So this is where the whole reveal of Emmett's plan, because we eat up Vorthri's like light, right?
Yeah,
we restore the sky, and then we start to like break. We fall down, and then
Emmett's disappointed in us.
Yeah,
and he shoots.
Well, Graha does the whole, I'm gonna suck the light out of you, and then I am the villain actually.
You can suck the light out of me, Graha, anytime.
Same. Then the suck fails. So the suck doesn't fail. He's mid-sucking.
Fail. He gets shot.
He's mid-sucking.
That's the worst thing to happen.
Yeah, I know. Mid-sucking and then get shot. You don't want to... No, okay, we're not going. So he falls over. In a comedic way, he falls over. And behind him is just Emmett Suck with a gun. I think that's such a funny visual.
It's so funny. It's like unlimited magics, unlimited power. Fuck you. You know what? Just fall back on the gun. It has to be for fun too. It had to be like, I'm pulling out the pistol today. You know, like. Anybody
his Emmett Selk body is not necessarily that strong. I mean, remember, Varys shot and killed an Emmett Selk before.
True.
That's true.
True. He is still an Ascian though, and he has Ascian powers. So I mean,
he might have teleported to Merlweb and took one of hers.
It looked good, I guess.
Maybe to use those powers, he has to like break the form he's in.
Right.
And he doesn't do that until he gets to the Tempest.
Also, chat is pointing out it worked. I mean, doesn't matter what tool he's using to do it.
Why exert yourself?
Right. So he's like, okay, you're gonna turn into a Sin Eater, and you are pathetic. Blah blah blah. I'll take the princess to another castle. Essentially, is what happens.
Again.
I'll take my housing item. Thank you.
Yeah. soon to be. When is it coming? When is the Graha Tia crystal outdoor item coming? Diable too, please.
I want to make him want it so that he can react to it in the same way he reacts to the two minions.
Yeah. Hey, want to see my house? It's like, hey, I brought this with me. Actually, this.
No.
Okay.
all this happens to, of course, over like just throwing up cum, just like it's just
because we're like having this
all over the floor
because we weren't the one that was sucking up the light.
Yeah,
that's true. That's true.
Well, I guess we've been sucking up the light the whole time.
We've been sucking a lot of light. We've been
though,
busy.
It is cool. It was kind of cool to see your character be like, bleh, bleh,
yeah,
throw up all the sin Peter
at least the cuts in these cutscenes. I assume your helmet gets automatically taken off because it would be funny otherwise.
Oh my god, it could get like all over your helmet.
I would love it to just change it slightly. It's just like dripping.
Oh, yeah.
You should redo the cutscene with the replica Mistbed helmet.
Yes.
Just like you see it pour out.
Yes, pouring out of the. Okay. Anyways, so this is where we wake up in the Crystarium. After that, there's a lot happening, but we don't have to go into the details. It's a good scene, right? It's a good setup for what's next. And now for the perhaps biggest there's like a couple of surprises along the way here. We need to go to where Emet-Selch is, but he's like underneath the water, like he's in the ocean outside of Kalusha. So we're like, how the fuck are we gonna get there?
Before that, do we want to talk about how Oriange has been lying to us again?
Oh yeah, okay.
Oh yeah, he saw
someone told him to lie.
So this is the other arc that has been like going on. This is the 8th Umbral Calamity storyline that has been brewing under the surface, but there's like something's off, and Oriange is being coy and weird, and now he's also being weird, by the way, in that scene with when Emet-Selch is like shooting Graha. He's like, no, don't go there. It's like, oh, you knew, and there was like all this. Oriange is. I don't know. Should we trust Oriange? I mean, he's not. He's always.
He's never acted again.
But
he's the 8.0 final villain.
Yeah. Anyways,
and Graha told him to do it. He's like listen, for this to work, you gotta tell him this.
It's weird how they always like circle out like Oriange though. It always has to be Oriange. But yeah, he had a vision of the potential future where the 8th Umbral Calamity happened. What he didn't tell us was that he saw all of us dead.
No, he did tell us he saw all of us dead.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
But that was a lie. He never saw that.
Oh, sorry. It was the other way around. Yeah, he never saw that we died. Right. That was just a motivation for us, I guess. Right?
Yes.
What was it he did? Oh, God, this is so long ago. This is where we're in that room with the big TV. It's not a TV. The
TV. Yeah, he's Graha's like bedroom attached to the ocular.
Yeah. Right. So we what is it he saw? What was it he had lied about?
He didn't see anything.
Oh, right. The whole thing was a lie. That's what it was. I was trying to remember what he actually saw, but he didn't see anything. That's true. Yeah, he made it up. So now we have to go to the Tempest. The whole 8th Umbral Calamity storyline, by the way, is sort of left a little it's left for side content as well. There's it's
left with the side story.
Yeah.
From the Tales from the Shadow.
Yeah. Okay. So Tempest, we need to get there. We go to Lakeland, and it turns out that island outside of
the Isle of Ken.
Yeah, that turns out to be the first's Bismarck. And he's
way cooler in the first.
Yes, he speaks Fae. It's very.
Yeah, he says
seen a primal version of Bismarck on our.
That's true.
Yeah,
shard.
True.
Could be something different.
True. We have to clean him up a little. I think is that it? I think
he get his barnacles.
Oh yeah, the barnacles. That's what it was. Yeah. And then we're off, and he dives into the sea, blows a big fat bubble.
Oh.
And basically disrupts the ecosystem of an entire.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
They can't swim up to their houses anymore.
Four fish people.
Yeah. So we get to see the Tempest, which was a big reveal. They kept that secret, but there's a secret within the secret. So
That is true.
we wander around, and every time you wandered around down there, you saw that there was like some like light shit like in the distance, but it's very difficult to like make out.
Mm-hmm.
Did any of you make it out, like figure it out before it was revealed?
No.
It's way too hazy.
Yeah. So there's this whole quest with the Ondo.
Yeah, the Walmart Sahagin.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we help them, and then I think
They
Y'shtola
have
is
the
like,
queen and some rubbish.
yeah, there's some help the queen lay some eggs or whatever, isn't it right? Or is that a
That's
side
an
quest?
optional quest.
Oh,
actually.
sorry, that's a
Oh,
side
is that?
quest. Yeah. Y'shtola's like, oh, there's this architecture. There's like some remnants of some architecture here that lines up with some of the cave drawings, I think, is what we saw in the Kitana Ravel. Ravel. So we start looking for more, and long story short, we find the second surprise. Amarot is down there, and that reveal is one of the biggest shocks I've ever had in this game. That reveal was massive, and it's not even like what I expected from 14 for it to be just like a handful of buildings, in a little. So it's a fucking massive city.
Half the zone.
Yeah,
It feels like big. Like even when you get flying, you can still see pretty off into the distance and see some buildings, but you can also like land on a lot of them. It's really expansive and tall. It's super cool.
Yeah.
And it's like an architectural style that you couldn't imagine in our world.
Right. Yeah.
And it doesn't even exist.
No, that's true.
It's just
No, it's not real. Eventually it will disappear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But not as long as we play the game.
No. And then you go down there and you realize that massive really is the word, because you are tiny compared to everything there.
And then the fucking cubists just litter the streets.
Yes.
Which I have to assume it was just like that.
Yeah.
And Emmett Suck was like, back in my day, we used to like fighting the fucking cubists. Don't you complain.
Are they like malformed?
Yeah, I guess.
I don't know if that's true, because cubists appear in other parts of the Tempest as part of fates, unless they escaped Amarot, I guess. And then they just.
I like the idea that they were just like tiny pests that they just normally fought. They're like, yeah. So okay, and that also like we're at the third shocker right now, which is when you talk to one of the people, like long people there, they have this like scary voice, like they talk like this.
I love that.
That's
They
how
kind
they
of
speak.
talk like. I feel like some people from Nier talk like them almost.
They
I forget
kind of.
who.
You know what they sound like, Rollo? They sound like the Twilly in Twilight Princess.
Yes.
Oh,
they
yes.
do.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah.
There's not actually much there. I think there's
No.
a few longish quests where I think this is where you meet Hyslodius and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And you do a little bit, but it's actually quite a short quest line in Amarot.
It is. Yeah. Then you have this fight. Sorry, not fight, but you have this encounter with Emmett Salk. And Emmett Salk is like pissy because you're still not dead, and you have come here again. Not again. You've come here for the first time, and now he's like, "Come fight me, bro." And
He wants to show you what really happened.
yeah.
Yes.
And then he takes you to the greatest dungeon in the game.
Hyslodius also shows us how Emmett Selk really feels as well. That that was an unintentional thing that he created.
Yeah.
That's true.
Or was it?
Because
Well, I think it was unintentional, but that was still a part of him that he wanted us to know.
Yeah. Okay, and then that is followed by Hades. We don't need to talk about the fight. We definitely should talk about like the reveal.
That was mad, wasn't it?
Yeah.
How
did you react to that then, Rollo?
I like it, but I got pulled out like instantly of just like because because like when you go
Does
like,
this thing?
he does like the I am Hades. And like this demon, I'm like, what's this fucking chuny shit out of nowhere?
Yeah, the voice was weird.
And it was cool, but it was like, what?
It's very JoJo, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah. All right, it's like a fucking like Sentai transformation. To, like the villain of the week is gonna turn into the big monster.
Yeah.
I got like, it just hit me like a fucking wall.
Yeah, that one.
Not bad. It's not bad. It was
yeah.
Love it.
It was like a moment where I'm like, what is this? Just a second. I'm like, what is this?
No, I was too caught up in the moment. I didn't question it at all. I mean, it's funny now, but in the time I was like, that's so cool.
There were two things. I was a little taken aback by Hades because it's so long ago. Before this, whenever I heard Hades, I pictured Hercules, like the Disney movie Hades. I'm like, oh, okay, the name, and then he does it's like, there's a lot. But yeah, I get over that very quickly.
They should have got James Woods to voice Emmett Selk.
That would be great.
He's a bad man.
He is a bad man.
Oh,
very bad man.
Yes, he is. All right. So that's that. We fight him, and then of course we win, and then Emmett Selk dies.
We seal him in like shattered white auracite.
Mm-hmm.
We like stick it all over him.
He's not really dead. Like he can come back still. I didn't get that impression.
No, he's been sealed up.
You didn't get the impression that he could come back. Is that what you're saying?
No.
Yeah. Yes. You did not.
As in, no, I did. Yeah, I did not think he could come back, but people are saying that he can. People are saying that his ether is not fully gone or something.
I'm so afraid of that. Please don't do it. Nidhogg's yeah.
Listen, you get one more. You get like, you clutch Shazim's thing.
Yeah.
And you get one more. After that, I don't want to see it again.
I just don't I don't want them to bring him back. I'm afraid because every time a villain gets very or anyone gets popular in the game, they're like, oh, we can't kill them. We'll bring them back.
Yeah.
I don't mind being able to channel him like we do in the Warrior of Light fight, but I don't want him to come back as a character.
Right.
Yeah.
Ooh, thunder. Sorry.
Ooh.
Like, do you think if this is true, as people have been claiming, do you think he will come back as himself, or do you think he will come back similar to that Grey Fairy in the Fairy Beast Tribe quests that is like its own, like their own person that has its ether?
I don't know.
I sort of be okay with that, but
like
it would have to be
in Dragon Ball Z.
Shut up! I was thinking that too, and I hate you for fucking saying it.
Well, no matter what they bring him back as, I just when someone's brought back, we have a prime example, Xenos.
Yeah, exactly.
There is a chance that the magic that was, their character disappears when they've been revived.
I don't think Xenos had that universal appeal.
I think Xenos was better before he was brought back.
Yeah,
I don't think that's
because he had a satisfying ending, right?
Yeah.
Emmett Selk had a satisfying ending, and he had a very good character arc that came to a natural end in the story. Bringing him back will require them to build a new character arc for him, like a new character story. What the fuck does he have left to do?
Love.
Some would argue, what does Graha have to do in this story?
Well,
Graha can start
start anew. That's different.
Yeah, it's like Raubon. Like Raubon has completed his arc a while ago.
Yeah,
and it's totally fine to still have him around and do stuff. Like he's a complete character.
But they didn't have to bring him back alive to do that.
Yes, that's true.
No.
Just because you like a character that's died doesn't mean we have to bring him back. Is what I mean. Like people die when they are killed, which is a great quote from this channel. Is this a speakers thing?
No,
people.
That's from Fate.
No,
that's from Fate.
Oh, it's from Fate. Well, we say it a lot. It's been mentioned a lot here.
You say it a lot.
Yeah. Okay. And I think that should be.
Every time they.
Yeah. Go on.
Sometimes when they bring people back, it works out. Look at Yotsu.
Yeah, that was a really good
No,
one.
I don't know. Yotsu was a little bit weak for a while. It did work out, but I don't know. They shouldn't bring him back. Emmett Salk.
Wait, are you saying they brought Yotsu back?
Well,
We thought she died.
Oh,
at
right, that.
Castle.
Okay, yeah, of course.
And Gasetsu.
But she died and came back in the same like story. Like there was just a few quests later. She was like, I mean, at the end of the story, we saw her right that she was alive on the island.
Xenos did it within a patch's time. It wasn't that much longer.
That's true, but his death was we saw him
In fact,
die.
it probably was the same amount of time, to be honest, because it's from level 57 to level 60 for Yotsu, and for Xenos it's from level 67 to 70, whereas Xenos is the end of 70 to like one patch later.
I don't know if that's the same amount of
but
time.
Xenos didn't always come back as Xenos.
No.
Because he was the Astian as well, so there was a lot of weird Xenos thing, and they just ruined Xenos. He was a good character until then.
Yeah. I don't know if we can compare Yotsu to Emmett Salk either. I don't even know if we can compare Xenos to Emmett Salk, to be honest. Emmett Salk is very special in his how he was executed, which is why it is so dangerous to bring him back.
Yeah, they can't bring him back.
I prefer that he is dead, because it was a good story when he was alive, and then he died, and then that was good as well. And now
make him like Oob.
Make a new character. Don't recycle.
Make him like Oob. Yeah, make him like Oob.
Yeah.
Make Semet Elk.
All right, we have killed him. Graha staggers towards us. This is where you can say his name.
This is the best cutscene ever. When he cries.
Oh, the anime tears.
No, he will come back. No, he will come back as a Rogadin. He'll be Sermit Elk.
Shut up.
That's quite funny.
So then you return to the Crystarium. And that's when you get that scene where you're like walking towards people cheering, and then you do the swing, and then it's we see the Warriors of Darkness from your returning to the Crystarium as well.
Yeah,
we should probably talk about Aaron Bold at some point.
Yeah, we'll do that at the end of this, and then there's the.
I thought that was so cheesy, but I loved it. You get like the music sting too for the Shadowbringer. Yeah, it's my secret, kid. And
then we go back to Tataru, and then that's that. That's the end of the MSQ. Now we haven't talked about Ardbert at all. So let's talk about that, because there are so many arcs. There's so many plots in this story. The Ardbert story. Yeah.
Really liked Ardbert in that he couldn't interact with us properly. He was like a ghost at the funeral or whatever. He was like he wanted so much to interact with this world that he used to be a part of. Yeah. Like when they meet Seth and stuff, and it was so well done.
Yes.
It's crazy that he's not more mad than he is. He's actually relatively sane, considering he has been in a world that he cannot interact with for 100 years at this point.
Yeah.
Like, at some point, you just kind of like, I'm here.
Yeah.
But he kind of like wandered around aimlessly until he realized that we could see him.
Mm-hmm.
That must have sucked.
It's the only thing that I really like the Ardbert story throughout Shadowbringers, but I will say that it is weird. The name change is a little strange. Because he was known as Arbert in the 3.4 or 3.3. I don't remember when he was introduced.
3.2, I think.
3.2, very early, yeah. And then in Shadowbringers is like, my name's actually Ardbert. That was a cover name I used. Very good, Ardbert. Ardbert and Arbert. You can barely tell the difference.
Why? You're in a different dimension.
Your name could have been like fucking Fart Face. It would be better. Don't go with like, what's my name? Ardbert. Ardbert.
Well, it's not because they were trying to hide their identities. They needed names that matched our world, maybe he just felt jealous of all the others because like the naming schemes for all the other races are actually quite a bit different on course compared to the first, whereas here names are kind of the same.
There are many a Bert in this and
I find it funny that if we step out of the story and think about the people that wrote this, at some point while they were making this story, they're like, Ardbear is a bit like, I don't know, I don't like that name. Let's make a new one. And they're like, Ardbert. Okay.
Ardbert.
They've been watching Sesame Street.
I will say, I think this is, I mean, because, you know, they only plan the story so far, of course. And some storylines get picked up and dropped.
Yeah.
I think this really shows that the Warriors of Darkness thing in like Heaven's Word was very like, yeah, you know, just some like evil dudes show up and then they leave. They'll think about it.
But I like that they gave it a reason though in the game. Like they didn't just do an awkward like I'm Ardbert. I've always been Ardbert. Yeah. Go on, guys.
I always felt that like they like to set up like plot lines like 2 expansions and ahead of themselves. Like the Warrior of Darkness thing came up later, and now why would they even bother to have introduced Alisaie if they weren't planning on doing this in the end?
I think they confirmed.
Like Alisaie actually has a lot of plot.
We read an interview with ShB where I think he confirmed that they were, you know, that was Shadowbringers was definitely not thought out at that point. We read that interview.
When? Are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure. I know, but they do make. But he did say that they make stuff like this on purpose so that they can pick it up later. Like we've definitely read that. That's how you'd make game story. But yeah, they didn't know what to do with Elidibus, right?
They definitely didn't know what to do with Elidibus.
Yeah, so I think it was a very recent interview that maybe not recent, but it was definitely one where he essentially said that, you know, we didn't know the story of Shadowbringers until like mid Stormblood. So
they like define mid Stormblood.
I can't. I can't and I refuse. And also Rollo has been frozen for 3 minutes.
No. I thought he was just very contemplative. Because remember, they say they start working on the next expansion as they're working on the current before they even finish the.
Whoa.
Well, this is what we will have to have until the end. So good luck.
Georgie, look up.
You just okay. This audio listeners, Rollo just disconnected and it's fucked up the video feed. Okay.
Yes, because like they say that they start working on the next expansion while they're still working on the previous one.
Mm-hmm.
That is true. They're like a couple of years ahead, maybe a year or 2 ahead.
I think they definitely knew about Shadowbringers by the time Stormblood released.
Maybe by Stormblood, but because the Warriors of Darkness were in like early Heavenswood.
Yeah, I don't want to say anything because you know how my memory works, but I'm pretty sure we have. There it is.
That's why. Oh, there it is.
No, but see, I will remember certain things.
No, he's not there.
That's not a flattering pose.
Oh, there you go. There we go.
The storm is fluctuating my power a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, I see. Okay. Well, we are almost at the end of the main show. Okay, we will. Oh, God, we have to do the fucking patch story.
I have to split that, but yeah, we'll have to do the patches.
We will just quickly go through the patches. They're very easy to sum up, okay? And also, I'm sure someone will remind us of how that interview, if anyone remembers, where ShB said the thing. I know we've covered it and we've discussed it. I think what they mean with they work 2 years ahead is that they think they plan out like stuff like systems and stuff like that ahead of time. The story, remember, the story is like when they lock themselves into the hotel room, but they don't do that until like mid-expansion usually, right? Isn't that when they do that? I don't remember when they do it.
I thought it was earlier than that, but
because I remember having that revelation about the story. It was like, oh, it wasn't planned that early as I thought, because I always had this romantic idea of how the story of 14 has always been like, you know, it was always planted way ahead, but it turned out that wasn't the case. I remember that very vividly, but I don't remember the details.
Sometimes when I hear about how the story's written, it's somehow feels like they're on a train, putting the tracks in front of them
Mhm.
and then also behind them
Yeah.
at the same time.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so the patch story. The 5.1 story was
This was
rough.
the one where he originally tried to begin getting their bodies back to the
Yeah.
source.
Yeah, but there's also
Okay,
the
they thought I'd just
Yule
go
more.
back.
Yeah, there's also the Yule more political patch. This
Yeah.
is the weakest
This patch
patch of
I mean,
Shadowbringers.
it is the weakest patch. I don't think it's bad. It is the weakest.
It doesn't have to be
patch, though.
bad to be weak. It's a weak patch. It's
I mean,
rough.
0.1 patches are always the slowest because, I
Mhm.
mean, you just finished off with this great bang.
Yeah.
And now it's like, okay, we have to build up to the other story, but you can't, like, just jump in there. You still have to
Right.
build up to it.
Yes.
Yeah, I felt it was a little bad,
I
especially the
think
Yule mod side.
it was forgettable. It's
The
yeah,
dungeon was quite good.
the Grand Cosmos.
Yeah, but then meeting the new Mo boy or girl.
Yeah.
It's a they. They don't have gender.
5.2. 5.2.
Yeah.
This is the big lore dump one where we get the Vana stuff.
Yeah.
We
They have the thing at Anamnesis and Ida where he surely gets stuck reading holograms or whatever.
Yeah.
Their storage device.
yeah.
Mhm. This is where they set up Elidibus pretending to be Ardbert.
Yeah.
He's annoying.
This
This is
warrior
also
of
where the star showers begin, and also doesn't the light come back at some point, or is it just
no,
the
that's
star
not until the next patch.
Okay, yeah.
Remember when they showed us those two people that got the echo from the star showers, and we thought,
Yeah.
oh, children, and then they never
We
came
thought-
back.
Right.
It's because of the Rogadin's voice. He's like, oh, I'm the warrior of light now. He fucking talks like that.
Yeah. This was, I don't know what I would call this. It's an okay patch. It's a good.
It's a setup patch.
Yeah.
It's a setup patch. I don't think it was a good point to leave us for the drought that we would have as a
No.
result of
I-
the global pandemic at the time.
True.
This is weird to say. I mean, I don't think it's weird to say actually, but like, we're players that are always playing and always on top of patches as they come out.
Yeah.
I wonder, and I really think now for newer players who experience like these arcs pretty much all in one go,
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure it's a lot more satisfying. And
Yeah.
I would say the arc from 0.1 to 5.1 to 5.3 feels a lot better.
Yeah.
And like without the big pauses, you still get like the poignant moments at the end of the
Mhm.
patches, just like slapped on there.
Yeah.
But you do it all in one go. So I think that's the thing we have to think about as how it's being experienced now
Right.
compared to
That's
how
true.
we did it.
That's true. Yeah. We should probably have that as a disclaimer that we experienced this like as they came out. So we have the droughts in
Yeah.
between. Yeah. Okay, so 5.3, which is the first patch to like break the drought due to the pandemic.
Well, this is the end of Shadowbringers patch.
This is the end. Yes.
Yeah.
So this is where we get the whole star shower revelation. People are like, "Oh, I'm a warrior of darkness now."
Light.
Oh, sorry, light. You do. We get Hero's Gauntlet.
Mhm. A dungeon you guys really don't like. It sounds like I'm thinking you guys really like.
I don't
it.
think
It's just not. It's
great.
not bad. It's just not.
It's a forgettable dungeon. It's just.
It's
What?
not
I thought it was such
the
a fun romp.
conclusion I would hope for.
I can see how.
Shadowbringers.
I can see how it's the thing that bothers me is the bosses are just.
What?
The bosses don't.
the
The
first one
don't feel
kinda
like they
sucks.
should be bosses. They're all just people.
Yeah, the last boss I can sort of see is a little fun, but it's the most fun boss there. I'll say that. But
The enemy variety in Heroes Gauntlet is very boring visually.
yeah,
It was not a great dungeon, but it was a great trial. This
yeah,
patch.
yeah.
Mm.
It was a very satisfying
I don't know,
conclusion for a Lily
We'll
boy.
talk about the dungeon in more detail.
Yeah, we're gonna-
Yeah. We shouldn't talk about it. Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Okay, so there's also Elidibus. There's the whole Elidibus thing here.
Is this the patch where we gather a report of the job stones?
Yes,
Yes.
the crystals
Yeah.
for all the convocation.
I mean, Elidibus as well, just like with Emmet. gets this whole like grand send off here.
It was a very satisfying conclusion to a character that up until this point was left very not that great.
Right.
Yeah. It's again, it's weird because with the kind of retroactive stuff and building the tracks ahead of them as they're writing this, it's like weird because all of a sudden, like this character, Elidibus, that has been very stoic, very nothing, is like, I'm experiencing doubts now.
Right.
And it doesn't. And it feels like it comes out of nowhere almost.
Yeah.
And I get that he's spending like a little bit more time with us, but it feels really abrupt.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's still very good conclusion and everything, but it's like that thing in when Papling was about to die or whatever.
Yeah.
Or with the lease reveal, it's like the camera's zooming in on Lease for some reason.
I think it's not that he's experiencing doubt. It's that we're questioning why he's doing what he's doing. Because up until this point, he never questioned that.
Well, he's like he's been like he's been tempered, right? He's essentially he's been doing. We start to understand
Zodiac.
why it's tempered by Zodiac, and it's like we're starting to it kind of makes sense why he's so one track mind all the time. It's obvious when you think about it in retrospect because he was tempered.
Well, he's tempered by Zodiac, and he is Zodiac, so he was summoned with a purpose.
Yeah,
but he doesn't. He hasn't.
But the real Elidibus is still in there.
For that.
Yeah.
Also, he's a fucking baby.
Yeah, he's a child.
He is a child. His voice actor was miscast in the English version.
Yeah.
They did. They kind of rushed him a bit, I feel. He's been around for so long, and I feel like the end of it was a bit rushed.
I think it was... A lot happened very quickly with him because they had to wrap up.
Yeah.
But I still think his send-off was...
Yeah.
Well, it was a fantastic trial.
Yeah.
It feels weirder because it split across point 2 and point 3, which was so far apart.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true.
But I really like the conclusion to Elidibus, how it really it explains why all of these ideas are so like dumb up until this point. We've always questioned Elidibus's plans, but it makes sense because like he is a primal, he is tempered, and he's essentially a child.
Yeah.
He doesn't have the experience that either Laha Brea or Emmett Selk had in creating their plans.
And then as time goes on too, he's like, I barely even know my purpose anymore. It's
because he's never questioned his purpose up until this point. He just did it because that's what he was made to do.
Yeah.
But when we ask him things, the real Elidibus starts coming through and wondering, so why am I doing all this?
It was quite sweet.
Yeah.
And then
we move on to... Oh, no, sorry.
Well,
Jesus, there's the last...
home.
We can't forget. Yeah, we get everyone home, and Graha turns into Crystal, but he's like... A housing item. Soon, please. Diable.
But luckily, the one in the Crystal Tower wakes up.
Yeah, because we have his memories and his flesh, his blood. So when we wake up, we run to the Crystal Tower, wake him up. We are served a cutscene that was probably quite expensive to make, which has a lot of mocap, and it is a very cool and very fun way to end that Shadowbringer story, which, when we get to see Graha in his new gear.
Graha has always had good animations in this expansion. Yeah, he's very cute.
Yes, but I will say that's when I realized how long his neck was.
Put the scarf up a little bit higher, please. I will say though, Lena absolutely cheated.
Lena.
So heartbreaking.
Yeah,
that she does not get a proper send off to Graha or like anything. Like she says some lines about it, but it's like. It's just so depressing.
I think
she wanted more.
I think
the worst part about Lena is that her final cutscene with Graha is not voice, but they did hire her voice actor for that patch. She speaks during the final cutscene before we all leave the first. So why didn't they voice the cutscene with her and Graha? That's I think the biggest loss.
That's a big crime.
she should have been able to say goodbye. Like she could have been there on top of the tower before he turned to crystal or something.
Yeah.
Like it would have been a nice send off.
That
like our passing of the torch of the Crystarium too.
That to me felt more rushed than like Elidibus because they had all the time in the world during that patch to have some sort of goodbye with them, like a scene. And the one scene they had, like Yorgi said, isn't even voiced. Like, what the fuck? They spend all of Shadowbringers, like those three, like the expansion and the patches, to like show this relationship between Graha and Lena, and then it just sort of has this weird like say goodbye to him, like for me at the end. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's like it's so there could have been so much behind that relationship.
Yeah,
because I mean he's her dad basically.
Yeah. Yes.
And he's even though I don't think he's very good at being a dad.
No,
really, or he's more.
I mean, I don't even know if he ever really thought of himself as a dad.
No.
He's guided, like a mentor.
I know what you mean in chat, that sometimes you don't get send off and closure, but there was ample time for it. This wasn't like a sudden event that happened. He had he knew it before he went up that tower that it was going to happen.
The game never reflects on Lena not being able to say goodbye.
No.
Yeah. Again, there's like some minor lines about it, but it's a really missed opportunity too about passing the torch of like the Crystarium like leadership of some sort too. It's just
Okay. So that's that. That's the end of the Stormblood storyline technically, but there are two more patches.
Shadowbringers.
Sorry, Shadowbringers. There's two patches left. 5.4. This is when we do the figuring out the tempering stuff. This patch is weird for many reasons. So
we're just like,
yeah,
we solved it.
Tempering, which has been a problem in Eorzea for
ever.
Yeah, for a while.
The start of the 6th, since around the 6th.
Yeah. So about 1,500 years, give or take 100. They figured that out in, I would say, like a day or two. They figured out how to do that. That's a joke, but they figured it out.
We are transferring the same knowledge from curing the light. Not blessed, cursed on the first.
Yeah. I understand. We figured that out. We go to Matoya's relict. We make this big pig.
We need a new Angela.
Yeah.
A little tempering be gone on him. You know.
Yeah. So there's also this like thing with this where we do the Sid and Nero thing in the
that's where they appear. They help us with figuring out. Because we go to Azizla with Graha and Alisaie to find like.
Oh God, I forgot this so much. Yeah, this little long. That's such a long quest with the.
Yeah, maybe they knew something about curing tempering. Maybe we can combine that with what we learned on the first.
Anyways, we have to compress.
Having someone with elegant blood is very useful.
That's very true. So we save Gabu. Voice actor.
I love Gabu.
Oliver Twist.
Gabu's voice actor. I know people find it. I know some people find him difficult to take seriously, but I don't know. I enjoy it.
It's just he's like little street urchin British kid. Oh, I missed that.
Yeah.
You're me dad. like that kind of shit.
It's so funny, but it's weird because we've heard kobolds speak before, and they didn't sound like that.
Didn't we hear kobolds speak on the first?
I'm pretty sure we've heard it in. Oh, maybe I'm thinking about 1.0. No, there's a point when they summon Titan.
Do they speak during that?
I'm pretty sure they. Some chat or YouTube comments assist. Kobolds talk in Heavensward. There it is. Okay. And they definitely don't sound like Oliver Twist. So that's very, very strange. They talk more like there. But
Gabu picked up from living with all the pirates.
He spent life in.
Well, speaking of that, there's also this whole focus on Limsa in this patch with Merlweb like fixing a couple of she's resolving some like lingering plot threads that have been around in Limsa, like with
why
the pirate
she's been
crews.
in power so long.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's that. And then of course at the very end of that, we get to see that first tower, and they call it a Garlean design, which we thought was weird at first, but then it kind of makes sense in retrospect because they obviously wouldn't know what Maquis stuff looks like. So, okay, last patch, we visit Tiamat in Asisla, and that's when we learn that she's actually tempered, which is why she's been like chained, like why she doesn't want to leave her was she not able to actually? Was that the case?
Well, we can't tell if she's lying or if she's... It's not really 100% clear if she was lying about being able to free herself at any point she wanted to, or if she's purposely staying there.
Yeah.
She did say it once, though, and she chose to stay.
Yeah. So we figure more... we do... This is the whole thing where we're like figuring out about the towers and Fandaniel's plan.
I think... what's his name? The nice man who's now in a wheelchair.
Arenvold.
Him and Fordola go and look in the tower, and they see all of the mulch or whatever stuck to the walls.
They better be setting $4 and Arenvold up to have a decent enough role in Endwalker, because remember when we thought they were setting them up to have a decent enough role going forward after Stormblood, and then they just disappeared until 5.5.
And we feared that all we would get from that was those side stories that they released. That's when we thought they'd been written out of the game. Yeah.
It very much felt like, they're from Alamigo.
Yeah.
This is the drama.
We never cared about Alamigo. So we
But
go.
they're coming back now, so hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
So we learned that the Sahagin, the Amalja are being attacked. And so we go to Pagelfan. What?
Yeah.
Yeah. We go to Pagelfan and kill Lunar Bahamut. That happens. We kill Lunar Bahamut in a dungeon.
A little anticlimax.
We'll talk about the dungeon another time. There's this is where we have that cool scene though in the royal chambers of Ul'dah, where the beast tribes gather.
No, that's in Alamigo.
Oh, sorry, was that in Alamigo? Oh yeah, sorry, it was Alamigo.
They all get together.
They're all there and they're discussing stuff
they don't
with
get
the.
seats.
They don't get seats. I am going to just. I'm just gonna say that they just didn't have.
Issue.
Yeah, well,
not all of them have thumbs.
Yeah, they don't have the animation for like being seated.
How is the snake woman gonna sit down?
Right. Yeah. It's
well,
difficult.
they have the snake women actually do have an animation for
that's
sitting
true.
down. It's not just not in a proper chair.
True. And also in game, I'm just going to assume that they just didn't have enough chairs.
Yeah.
That's it. But that was a sweet moment for that's a good payoff for everyone who's played since A Realm Reborn.
I mean, I agree. I feel like we've resolved the differences between the Amalja and Ul'dah and the kobolds and Limsa.
Yeah.
I feel as if the Sahagin and the Ixal have not been addressed really.
The Sahagin is difficult, isn't it? Because they are actual invaders. Like they have destroyed parts of Lenosha for their own
to make a spawning ground.
Yeah. But you could say the same about Lemensons. They are invaders on Kobold lands. So, it's...
They don't want to...
So we're like, we'll forgive you because we were bad too.
Well, yeah, right? I mean, they are all bad. So they need to get over it.
Both sides are wrong.
There it is. There it is.
What about the Ixal, though? The Ixal?
I think they should just go back to Zelphaton.
Ixals are difficult as well because they...
Because it's not really the Gridanians that drove them out.
No.
In fairness, the Exile have also overextended to Kurthus as well. So
that's true. Yeah.
They're everywhere.
Some of them needs to be held... Yeah, okay, I see.
We didn't have enough time to address every beast tribe, sadly. We did the kobolds and we did the Amalja.
Yeah.
Everyone else doesn't matter. Sorry. You didn't make the cut.
Yeah.
B-listers.
They just say, like, we've sorted them all out now.
Yeah. I think that's what was implied here. So, and also this has been a minor point that's been like brought up like subtly throughout the MSQ that we're calling them beast tribes even though they speak the same language as us and like we trade with them. They're merchants. They have jobs. Like, why are we doing this? And it's like, you know.
I mean, it's because of Uldar.
Yes.
Uldar
Yes.
did not trade with them at the time.
No. Okay, so that's hopefully maybe something we'll dive more into post Endwalker, like the politics of dealing with those tribes now. Also, this is where the Crystal Braves thing is happening again, where he's like learning more about, like, because we're making a new Grand Company again. Hey, Crystal Braves 2.0. Yeah. And now Alphino.
Featuring Hian.
Kian is so awkward in that
He's
scene.
there.
Like,
Ian is there.
He doesn't say a
He
word.
gets no lines.
No. It's funny.
He's the only leader that doesn't speak.
Yes. Okay, so Alphino goes around. He wants to learn, we don't ask ex-Crystal Braves about what went wrong, and so that we don't make that same mistake when we make the Grand Company of Eorzea, essentially. And then we have this whole cool instance fight thing on Cartano Flats, where we fight different primals.
We played as every last sign that we had not yet had a chance to roleplay as before.
Yeah. How do you feel about the roleplay aspect now that they've used it again? Are you all okay with how it's done? Yeah.
I think it's a great way of storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
I hope you guys at least know the basics of whatever job you're being slapped into,
right?
Because
because that
at least I'm just glad they give you time to read the tooltips at least.
Yeah, it gives you time.
Yeah, it does. Yeah,
you have to choose to engage usually.
I love it, but I have heard complaints from people that are like, well, they don't like the idea that they're being thrown into a job that they have no interest in playing, and also, this is not their character.
You have 4 buttons.
I know. I just seen that as a complaint that exists. I do not agree. I think it is fun, and you should get a grip. That's all.
I do like that Urianjay's like astrology is more interesting than real astrology, probably.
Well, Urianjay's astrology is closer to the original astrology than what we have now.
Yeah.
I think that it's a great system, and this story's not just about us.
Oh shit! I can't believe we skipped the whole Fortunal Leveilleux.
Mm-hmm.
There was that bit as well, which is sort of, that is like the first like real like Endwalker lead-in. Yeah, that's like, there's why is he acting that way?
How dare you say it's the first Endwalker lead-in? We've had all these scenes with Xenos and the cackling robed one.
Oh, whatever. Well, he's like, oh, hey, nice to see you. By the way, I disown you. Bye. So that's sort of a scene. And it leaves us with this, like, a lot of questions as to why he's there and why he did what he did. I thought that was a good scene because it's kind of mysterious.
It's mysterious.
Yeah. Okay, so back to that fight. You fight like lunar versions of certain primals, like Ifrit, Ravana, Odin for some reason.
Confusingly.
Yeah.
Who did they have to capture to summon that?
Yeah, that's weird. Odin's, I don't even want to think too much about it because it's almost...
The only one I really don't think we're supposed to think about it all. I think they just wanted it.
It just looks cool.
Yeah.
I think that just was cool. I genuinely think they put no thought into it. And maybe it's the first time some people ever fought Odin. Maybe that's also why. They wanted people to experience Odin.
Possible. Yeah. His music is amazing, so...
I love the little... chess pieces of our characters too.
Yeah. That's cool. And then the last part, which there's like this sweet moment where the Amalja is like, because we couldn't save everyone, but he's like, but you saved some, and like that was there's this sweet little moment between the Beast Tribes and the Eorzean Alliance, which was nice. And then we do the cheesiest fucking thing. We all turn for no reason to look at the moon, and then the guitar sting. I thought that was really funny. And that's that. That's the MSQ. We definitely have to wrap up now, but let's quickly just overall. How does this rank in terms of MSQ for like Shadow, like comparing to Stormblood and Heavensward, which are the other 2 expansions we've had? Let's not include A Realm Reborn.
Much better than...
I think it's the best by far.
Yeah, but lead in to the next expansion a lot weaker compared to Stormblood. I think Stormblood's lead-in was way stronger and more interesting. Like 5.1, 5.3, amazing. 5.4 to 5.5.
I
Yeah.
think Lakeel and I are higher, especially. I think Lakeel and I are especially higher on 5.4 than a lot of people.
Yeah.
I still think it's good. It's just 4.4 and 4.5 are much better.
Okay. All right.
What was the dungeon in 4.4?
What
The
was
burn. Oh yeah, I would agree
The
with you
burn
there,
was good.
actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I would say Shadowbringers is the best MSQ in any of the current expansions right now. Which, yeah, Mela.
Yeah, I'd agree. It was by and large the best storyline in general. I would maybe say Heavenswood was a little bit more focused and kept.
I don't know if I'd say that. Heavenswood is tied back by having to resolve the end of A Realm Reborn.
No, that's fair. But a lot of the Ishgard stuff was quite intriguing to me. I liked that sort of dragons and that sort of fantasy.
The Heavensward story was very complex because there was a lot of like pieces that were moving in that story.
That was like the Song of Ice and Fire.
Yeah.
One.
Yeah.
But this was just so well written.
It was so impactful. I feel like Shadowbringers had way more impact on me than Heavensward.
Shadowbringers is also strangely a more traditional Final Fantasy story.
True.
Yes, that's
it's much more about like just travel the world and defeat the bad guy at the end.
Yeah.
And obviously it's more. There's more to it than that, but that's the basic framework.
Yeah. All right, we have to. That's it. That's the review of the MSQ. That's the end of part 2 of our review. Next week,
or whenever we get to it,
if
there's a lot of if there's a lot of news next week.
Depends on the news. But next time, I think we'll talk about dungeons. That feels like the most natural.
Dungeons will be third.
Yeah.
Did you know Dungeons was the dungeon review of Stormblood was the first podcast I was in.
Oh, was it really? Oh, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Okay, we cannot leave yet. We have to pull a dungeon.
The Wheel of Doom and the Cup of
Doom. Both
right.
Doom.
Make your guesses.
Oh god, I need the spreadsheet.
Ooh, I want.
I need the spreadsheet as well.
Give me Don Meg.
I
want
Don Meg.
Don Meg.
I want Don Meg.
I want. Give me Sorkai.
Let's try and ruin everything. Let's say Temple of the Fist.
Okay. I'm gonna pick. It's very dramatic, this music now. I'm going to pick Sistasha. And we are going to... Oh, shit. Oh my god, Copperbell Mine's hard.
Oh, fuck!
This one was really hard.
This one was...
dungeon for so long.
It sucks.
It's gonna be fun.
Wheel of Doom.
Shit, we struggled a lot when we did this one. But we were only three then. I think we were 3 last time we did this, but we ran out the clock on the last boss. That was infuriating.
No,
and the time before that, we were 4.
This like a couple of times.
Oh yeah, we did.
First boss,
well, it was 4 with the modifier.
Yeah.
Half an hour. That boss where it goes along the bridge.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was awful. Okay, let's. Let's see here. Will these load? Yes, they will.
Give us controllers.
All right. Now let's see what kind of.
I'm predicting it's a cursed dungeon already.
See what kind of fresh hell awaits us. We have removed no HUD because we've already done that.
Okay.
We did it last week.
So it has been. So we've brought back first person.
Makes sense.
All right. Let's spin the wheel.
Give me. Was that no tank stance? What?
Oh.
Oh.
I don't know how possible this is going to be.
All healers. All healers. Mela, you have some
No, I
leveling.
can do this at this level.
Oh yeah,
Do it
that's
at level 50.
Oh, that's true. Oh no.
My sclerosis at 71.
Oh no. Okay.
Everyone can res.
That's
right.
This is going to be impossible.
We can all res. We can't do much else, but that's there's gonna be a lot of stone 3.
It's going to be slow.
Or stone 2 even. Oh no. Okay.
Do a lot of,
and the mobs are gonna just run everywhere because no one's gonna be able to hold the aggro.
Listen, all we have to do, stand in one spot with all the mobs in AoE, and someone AoE heal, and hopefully we just do it.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Oh my goodness. All right. See you tomorrow with that, everyone. For that's gonna be wow.
That's a curse dungeon already.
Oh, we'll see. That's it for the show tonight, everyone. Remember to stay tuned for the post show right after this, where we'll be watching the minimum level run from last week, as well as reading questions from the syndicate. Remember to follow on Twitter at SpeakersXIV, twitch.tv/SpeakersOfIreland, youtube.com/SpeakersXIV, exclamation Discord in chat if you're watching on demand. Links in the description. That's it. We'll see you. Send us mogmail, speakersxiv.com/mogmail. See you in the post show. Goodbye.
Goodbye.